Okay, chest to wall alignment. This is where we find out if we've been cutting corners or getting away with positions on the floor that we weren't getting feedback about. Because now we're going to have 100% of our body weight in a straight line on the wall. Okay, so I'm going to build the first, terminology should now be familiar because we've been doing it on the floor. I'm going to build the first one by spotting Callie and walking up to the wall. And I've set the camera up there so we can see the line and all of the characteristics that we know that we're after to train the handstand, using the wall as a constraint to help us build a straight line. Hands shoulder width apart with index fingers forward. We've got a hard wooden board on the floor here. That is going to be much more suitable than doing it on carpet or on grass or on something that's uneven. Hard surface gives us feedback, so a board is going to be ideal. Hand shoulder width apart, maximum scapular elevation, maximum hollowed out abdomen and posterior pelvic tilt, and then legs tight and long with Callie picking her focus between her hands on the floor. There's different head positions that we can use. For example, we call this head out. We call head out is where we're looking at the floor. Call this neutral, which is where we're looking forward, which is a bit more like a capoeira type handstand. And for deep tuck, further stuff way down the line beyond what even I can do at the moment, is head in, which is chin on chest. We're going to be building, and the same as what I was cueing with the chest to floor, supine and prone, head out, where you're going to be looking and picking a point on the floor, and you're going to do the same thing every single time. So that when you're not, excuse me, when you're training and we're beyond the first couple of weeks of familiarization, we're not thinking about toe tension, we're not thinking about posterior pelvic tilt, we're not thinking about scapular elevation, we're thinking about looking at the point between our hands and an inverted pendulum or rigor mortis or something that works for you to trigger thinking about one thing, because you can't think about all of those things. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can build that position with Callie. So pop your hands on the floor, I'm going to spot you in for the first one. You're going to talk to me and give me feedback. So if you've got a training partner, this is what you'll be doing. I'm taking some weight. Callie feels safe to take her legs up. Okay. Now she's going to walk in. I'm going to walk in with her, giving her support. And to use the wall to get a stacked handstand, Callie's going to give me a nod when she feels safe for me to let go.
Good.
We are, I'll put the clock on because this is going to count as a set for Callie. Going to need to be close enough that we can get our nose on the wall. Put your nose on the wall, so that's a nice, and just the toes. So we want the quads, we want everything else staying off the wall, but we're in that position. So index fingers are forwards, turn that hand out to touch, and now Callie's looking at that point wherever it is for her. Maximum elevation, hollowed out body shape, so we can see I can get my hand in here, so beautiful position. That's tight. I can pull these legs apart, but they're not going anywhere. Toes are long. That's 37. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to give some weight onto her bum. Now Callie's going to walk back out. Walk her feet down the wall. Walk her feet down the wall and then pop down. And rest. That was a really straight, beautiful line that Callie's been working on. Yours won't look like that initially. And the demands for the scapular press into elevation whilst maintaining hollow body, whilst being able to press into the floor with your fingers to stop you falling out, whilst being able to keep your head position. All of this will be new, but this is a very intense position. That should look like, when you look at your video in between sets, the straight line that you want to see in the middle of the room further down the line. Specificity of training. You get what you build, so we train in an accurate way that may be humbling because we can't hold it very long, but ego aside, we're training in a position that will get us something that we don't want to be messing around with for months and years because we can't park our ego. Okay, so we're going to do one more set for Callie. She's had a minute and a half rest, a minute rest there. Callie's going to walk up on her own this time, which you can do if you're able to. And we're going to see if she can find her line. There's lots of drills on the wall that will involve getting off it into balancing, but this is fundamental and we're going to have to do a lot of it if we're going to be able to snap into a straight line in the middle of the room. Okay, so I'm going to start the clock for Callie. If you were timing yourself, maybe you have a phone on the floor here or a clock, or you have your phone filming you can work it out afterwards. Beautiful line. Pressing as hard as she can, shoulders to ears. Tighten the abdomen. Maybe she can show us a scapular shrug in this position. So from down, everything stays tight, into depression, elevation, beautiful. Stay tight. Everything the same if we are going to go into, because there's lots of drills in the program that I'm not going to cover here, but these are consistent. That's 35. Beautiful. Keep going strong. Press as hard as you can, screw it into the floor, trying to get that external rotation torque. That's 50. 55. 3, 2, 1, and cut away Beautiful. Okay. Very, very tiring chest to wall when we do it accurately. I don't expect to do it first time, but your training accuracy should be to try and get something that looks and resembles like this. Bring in all of the pieces that we've been building on the floor. And this will set us up for further skills, and if you are able to hold this position, to then start looking at the drills that we've got in our programming for taking that off the wall.